Alright, so today we're on location in the great city of Austin, Texas with our good buddy, Josh.
Thanks for having me.
To Schlocky Seconds, the, channel where we watch bullshit. And we watched some bullshit today. We watched From Beyond by the same director that did Reanimator, which is a much, much, much better movie. But it had its qualities, I guess. I'm just gonna come out and say I didn't much care for this movie.
So there's no real plot line in this movie.
No.
It just jumps around, so it has like a thing that happens in the beginning, some things that happen in the middle, and then it ends. But it's not like a continual standard plot line.
Right. It's just that's pretty much right. Things happen, and then it ends.
It seemed like it was scenes for shock, not scenes to expand the plot.
Right.
Right. And visually speaking, it did have some cool visuals in this.
We spent all of our money in
the makeup
special
department.
effects and stuff.
The special effects were pretty good.
We don't have time to hire writers. The main doctor guy from the beginning of the movie, like the one who invented the machine, I guess.
Yeah.
Like his transformation thing, it was, it looked pretty cool. It was like pretty good. I guess what's the word I'm looking for? Quality. It was pretty quality as far as like costume design and stuff. And it wasn't like Swamp Thing's fucking suit where it was just like a wetsuit.
Just a guy in a fucking swimsuit.
Yeah, that guy's got style and class. So it starts off showing you like this guy's like what's the young guy's name? Do we know?
Guy from Reanimator.
Yeah, guy from Reanimator.
Scientist from Reanimator.
Assistant to Mad Doctor guy. He comes to tell him like, hey, there's something going on with this fucking machine. I turned it on and like he saw an eel and it like bit him on his face and shit.
Yeah. Those tuning forks. Really?
Yeah. Oh, he's using the power of sound. I discovered how to give headaches. Whoa. It's like doing acid without doing acid. Sign me up. You little bastard. And then
Spectral eel.
Yeah, spectral
ribbon eel.
So like he goes and gets the doctor guy and he comes in there and he turns the machine on, but this time instead of turning on one tuning fork, it does all 4 tuning forks. He's like, you didn't turn all 4 of the tuning forks on.
It's like, you think that's tight.
Right, yeah.
I'm gonna show you some shit.
And then
he's
all
like,
of a sudden,
you think one's good, 4 is better.
Like all of a sudden he starts being like, I want to see more. I want to see more. I want to see it all.
And I will say this, the lighting in that whole scene was pretty cool.
And then you think that his head explodes.
You would think, because he's like kind of bending over and like holding his head. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it just shows him laying on the ground and he's got no head.
Kimono with those sandals.
Yeah, man.
It's way too great.
That guy relaxes.
Professionally. Oh shit. Was he decapitated?
Right,
So
yeah.
You think like he couldn't contain it all.
You don't see he doesn't have a head. You just see like the dog.
Yeah, but I mean,
blocking
you do
his
see
head.
kind of like a bloody thing right
Sure,
there.
A stump, which you later see, and I think
and that's the other thing.
Later seeing that, you can kind of assume what happened to the doctor at the beginning.
They have, and they have they have a neighbor too. That's where the dog comes from. They have this neighbor who's always perturbed about their loud experience.
The very nosy woman neighbor.
By the way, they live at 666 Benevolent Street, which is very warm and inviting. It's at 666. How did no one see the signs? We're at 666 Benevolent Street. Yeah, that's probably a good place. That's where I would want to go if I, if I knew
It's
it
very
existed.
subtle.
Yeah.
If you didn't pay attention, you wouldn't know that is like a dangerous boulevard.
Yeah. Hence the name or anything.
Right.
But yeah. So then, after this doctor guy turns on the machine, and you think he's dead, and then like it cuts to the fucking assistant guy just like being in a mental facility, I guess. Because like he.
Well, after he sees the doctor, have his head decapitated or whatever, then he goes crazy, and they put him inside the mental institute.
That's what I'm saying. It just cuts to like him.
Yeah.
And
then we
then
have
like there's a psychologist.
what's her name? Barbara Summers.
Yeah, I guess.
Who was also from Reanimator, I believe.
And she's like a psychologist who's coming to evaluate him.
Right. Yeah.
And there's no discerning of time between.
Right.
No. Yeah. You don't know how much time has passed.
Getting caught at the house and brought to the mental
All we
institution.
know is that he has his same clothes on.
And a bandage on his face.
Yeah, and he's next to a masturbator.
Ah, there he is.
How they sell that you're at a mental institute.
Right. Yeah.
Is
yeah.
there is
You
a
have to have
naked man
crazy guy
jerking furiously.
Furiously. Yeah, exactly. And he's like butt ass. I think he's getting into it.
And he's the happiest guy there.
He's the one that found
he
God.
has figured life out.
Yeah.
They call him crazy. I say he's figured things out.
Everyone's obsessed with tuning forks, but the guy in the room masturbating alone furiously.
He's got it. But so then like she evaluates him, but she's like, I'd like to do some further testing back at where this thing happened. All this stuff happened. She's like, so I'm gonna take him back.
Right. Yeah.
To this fucking manor.
That's what you do with trauma patients, right?
Right,
Take them back to the area that
You've been
caused
through
the
this
trauma.
horrible thing, which, once again, we don't know how long it's been. Maybe it's been several weeks. I don't know. But
Maybe it's been a few hours.
Yeah, maybe a few hours, right.
Look, you can either stay here for the rest of your life or you can come with me.
But
we go back.
Yeah, they go back to the manor at 666 Benevolent Street.
Right.
Hi, you must be Dr. McMichael.
Yeah, what it is. Come on, get my van, man. What you think about this jacket? And this is when we're introduced to Mr. Gus Brownlee.
Brownlee.
Yeah,
the ex-football player
turned cop.
I used to play pro football.
Yeah.
Was he a cop?
Is he a cop? I thought he was just some guy that worked for the company.
No, because remember that guy in the trench coat later? He's like, you killed one of my best men,
Wow. Okay. Well, I didn't know he was a cop. I just thought he was some guy that worked for the company.
No, he's a cop. That's why he had the gun and shit on his, the holster thing.
Sure, but I just thought it was
That's
some
why
guy.
he said, I'm
Detective Athletic Brownlee.
You know that scene where he said, I'm the law around here? So,
Yeah.
if he's the law, then therefore he must be a law enforcement.
Sure.
But anyway, that's what we're introduced to his character. He's typical black guy in an 80s movie.
The second witch we saw.
Yes, we had one who took someone's coat and shit.
Yeah.
But then we had a kind of a main character black guy. Then you have the scientist lady or the psychologist, and then taking the assistant back to the manor. Mm-hmm. And when they get back there, they immediately, they realize there's no power on.
Right, but what I think is really funny is you remember whenever the psychologist lady talks to the doctor lady, and she's just like, we have to take him back to where this all started.
Yeah.
And she's like, you can clearly tell the man's insane.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. She's like, just trust me on this. We're going to take him back, and we're going to figure out where all this craziness comes from.
Right.
So I thought that the ideas in this movie were really, really good. Because I feel like on paper, you're like, man, that's a good idea. Psychologist shows up, takes the guy back to this place where he's traumatized. There's something there. You can do something with that.
Yeah.
And then
Something that H.P. Lovecraft wrote and then somebody twisted into a shitty movie?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
They're like, all right, after all the money we spent on special effects, we're now going to have to chop the script in half. So we're going to lose a lot of key points.
There's ideas there. And like you said, clearly on paper in a book, this worked, but it was just hacked into pieces with the script. They're just like, we'll take this, we'll take this.
Right.
And it wasn't very good.
No, it wasn't.
They tried to take all the shock parts of the book and just make that into scenes instead of giving any plausible reasoning for why things are happening.
Right, yeah. And it's funny because Reanimator, I mean, you know, that was a good movie. Like, I really enjoyed Reanimator, which is also a H.P. Lovecraft book. But that told a story. This movie did not.
No.
You know?
And, I mean, basically from that point, when they get back to the manor, you basically just have, like, the power's off. They figure out how to turn power on.
Oh, right, because crazy scientist guy's like, I rerouted all the power.
Yeah.
From the basement.
Yeah.
She's like, if we follow all this wiring, we could probably find the machine or whatever. And they do.
She was right.
And they turn it on.
But he knew where the machine was the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, that's when he's just waiting in the back.
Well, no, he disappeared.
He's waiting in the fucking.
Does he?
Yeah. Remember, he's waiting with an axe.
Oh
And
shit,
as soon
that's
as
right.
they come in, he waits till they get all the way in the room.
There was
turn
even that
the lights
scene.
on.
That's right.
That scene
Yeah.
to build up that suspense of him waiting, like what's going to happen. And then he doesn't do anything until the lights turn on. And then it turns out he was trying to hit the globe.
That's right.
with
Wow,
the
yeah,
axe.
that's right. That's right.
But he
that's
couldn't
right.
make it move until he was like a T-Rex. He couldn't see until movement happened.
They didn't turn the power back on, right? Why is it still dark?
For effect.
Rewired the power,
Yeah.
but not to where it all needed to go.
There's
Not to
no
where
head.
with all of the electrical equipment.
Yeah, exactly. He rewired all the power back to this spot, and yet it has.
No, he just rewired it directly into the basement where the power supply was coming from.
The Pretorius Resonator.
Like basically from that point is like they turn the machine on, they see the ill things and the jellyfish.
The jellyfish,
And
which
the
we
black
hadn't seen
guy
before,
gets
right?
bit by one of them, right?
Yeah.
We hadn't seen those yet.
Yeah, always saw the eels before.
The
that.
eel,
But they're
yeah,
finally
not the
like,
fish.
oh well, shit, maybe he's not crazy, you know? And like, but the chick is seduced by it, just much like the mad doctor guy.
Well, so is the guy. The guy and the chick are both seduced, and like they connect to each other.
Right.
While the poor football player black man is
Right.
left out
Well, they're-
on his own.
Oh shit. Yeah.
What?
I like them
Did they
titties,
just get
girl.
real horny from the tuning forks?
Yeah. Let me see them titties.
What was the peruvial lobe?
Yeah, it's
lobe
their
or
third eye, I guess, or whatever. In their
something in
mind's
their
eye.
mind was growing and making them
And-
obviously horny.
Then they wake up the next morning and they're all sitting at breakfast and they're like, "Hey, let's go back up there."
Which is
no,
also-
no,
which
they had coffee
Right.
and then they said, "Let's rest."
Right.
Immediately after
Well,
they woke up.
after Dr. Scientist Psychologist lady made them eggs.
Yeah, that's
She's
true.
the woman,
Yeah,
and it's her job to
You
make
can't
them
work
breakfast.
on an empty stomach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, like you guys both said, they immediately go back to sleep.
Right.
That same morning after coffee.
Right. Yeah. They eat coffee and breakfast, then go to sleep.
Look, we all need some rest. Why don't we just get some sleep and then we'll think about it?
Yeah, we'll get some rest and then we're going.
It's morning time.
Right? They just
They
had
just
their
woke
coffee.
up, yeah.
They just drank coffee.
So that they can wake up even sooner to go turn the machine back
To
on.
go to this sex dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? She wakes up in the
Yeah.
middle of the night because her
Oh, that's right.
lady parts are itching.
Yes.
Sex dungeon! Yes!
Yeah.
This guy.
I like this guy's style.
And she goes to the sex dungeon
Yep.
that they
Right.
found earlier in the movie.
Yes.
We didn't mention.
Yeah.
But they found a sex dungeon.
Which is funny. It makes it a sex dungeon because it's literally like a poster of like a woman like pulling down like her like leather pants or whatever.
Right.
And then
Yeah,
it's like,
there's a poster
and it's like some like handcuffs
And then
like
handcuffs
hanging
on
from
the ceiling.
chains.
and a
that
monkey
is- in a monkey bar. that at one point, Dr. Scientist Psychology Lady like sexually rubs at one point. But you know, that's and it's all red.
And I think this is the point.
It honestly looks like a Mario fucking Bowser
Mario
level.
dungeon.
And
yeah,
the second time they
like a
turned
Mario
some
weird
Castle.
Mario Odyssey level.
The second time they turn the machine on is when we find out that the doctor guy, the mad scientist guy, did not die. He comes back when you turn the machine on.
Right, that's right.
Don't stop.
Oh my.
I'm impressed, Crawford. Do you realize now what I was creating?
Edward Viscount, what have you become?
A sex thing?
Yeah. This thing.
Myself.
Like he becomes kind of like this thing, but it's more like this thing on the back, you know?
It's kind of like this, but more like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw this cover, I thought this was going to be like an alien movie.
Yeah. Or like a body snatchers type of thing.
Yeah, not the case.
No.
Well, I mean, you would think from like watching like, you know, Reanimator to where it'd be something crazy and silly. Which
It definitely was that.
Which it was, but it wasn't as fun as Reanimator. This is very like dirty and raunchy.
Yeah.
But not really not like a fun or cool way. It's just
It seems so out of
it's
place.
just like shock value for shock
Disgusting
value.
rape from a monster.
Yeah,
blob
yeah,
thing.
we haven't talked
hot dog
about that.
thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
we haven't talked about that yet.
so
To
she gets.
She gets up in the middle of the night again in her nightgown.
Yeah.
Well, and then she dresses up in like that
Well, that's later.
leather. Oh yeah, that is
Like
later.
this part, she was just in a nightgown.
That's
and she
when-
goes up there
yeah.
and she turns the machine on again, and then he appears and he like rips her nightgown off, and his fingers get all super fucking long,
Yeah.
and he like puts them
Yep.
down there, you know, and
yeah,
he's like,
he hot dogged her.
he's like, I'm gonna give it to you, you know, and like, you know, he starts to or whatever, and if he was like full rim,
He licked it. Wow, awesome.
Yeah! All right.
I get to feel them titties
This is where we get our 1980s rape scene.
Oh yeah.
Can't have a rape scene without hot dog fingers. And then the next time we see him, she's like super horny and wearing like a gimp suit and trying to take advantage of it
Yeah,
because he
yeah.
loses all of his hair.
'Cause he's laying in that
because
bed.
the purple worm.
Yeah.
The purple worm tries to eat
Yeah.
him.
That's when Brown Lee comes in, and at first you think they're about to like get it on because
Yeah.
he's like, "You can't handle this" or some shit.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he says.
And then but then he like turns her around and like shows herself to a mirror, and he's
it's
like,
on the
"Look at
ceiling.
you." Yeah,
in
yeah.
the sex
It's
dungeon.
a
Yeah,
sex mirror.
yeah.
Yeah, in the sex dungeon.
But
he's
yeah,
like,
so
"Look
he's
at
like
yourself,"
he
you
looks
know?
like a chemo patient, the apprentice, laying
Yeah,
around
yeah.
because the purple worm sucked all of his hair off.
Right.
Yeah, for some reason it only took his hair off. That was,
Yeah. So
It
he's
eats
laying
like
there.
3/4 of his body, yet he just has his hair.
was
She's
sucking
wearing
his
this
life's energy.
leather like sex kitten outfit
Yeah.
and just starts molesting his dick while he's like passed out
Right.
Yep.
having chemo dreams.
You know what? I'm glad you showed up.
I did.
And then a better dick walks in the room.
Yeah.
Being Brown Lee.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
And she's immediately like, "Whoa, yeah,"
Yep.
you know. But he's not having it, you know, because
No,
he's respectable.
He's a
Right.
respectable gentleman.
Yeah. And so he's all like, "Look at yourself."
You
know?
can't handle this.
Right. Yeah. You couldn't. You would be destroyed.
And then this is whenever she starts to become human again. She's no longer possessed or whatever.
Right.
And she's like, "Oh fuck, you know, what am I doing?"
But then because I know at some point the guy gets the fucking thing pulled out of his forehead by the
Well,
doctor.
no, because but
and then they
Yeah,
go back
that's
to the hospital.
he goes bald. They take him to the hospital, and then she starts seeing the worm like fucking prairie dogging
Right.
But you
out of
remember
his skull.
Dr. Scientist guy wakes up after he shows psychologist lady in the mirror. Dr. Scientist wakes up and he just starts freaking out because I think this is whenever the machine turns itself on, when the electricity starts coming on.
Because before they go to the hospital,
yeah, it locks itself on.
That's how the mad scientist guy pulls that thing out of his forehead. He like makes it manifest or whatever.
Right, and this is whenever he possesses Dr. Scientist from Reanimator.
Right.
Yeah,
and then that's when they go back to the mental facility.
Right.
And they've got the doctor psychologist lady locked up because they think she's crazy.
Who's still in her whole gimp outfit.
Right, they got a robe on her.
Yeah,
or whatever. And then like they just show him laying on a table, and it shows that other
turtleneck,
psychologist lady or whatever,
doctor lady.
She's trying to pull that thing.
She
out.
was also from Reanimator, right? Didn't she play the doctor from Reanimator?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
And then when she's trying to pull that thing out of his head, it just pops out itself, and she's like, "Huh." But then just goes on about like someone
like
calls
nothing weird about that.
Yeah. Just realize.
It looks fine. Fuck it, my shift's over.
Yeah. They're
That's
like, hey,
business as
we're having a
usual in this
situation.
place.
You need to come this way, and she's just like, oh yeah, fuck this thing,
Maybe she's just dumb.
Because you would
or
think,
just lazy.
you would think
you don't
in
know.
any real mental facility, if a licensed psychologist left with a patient that went back to a place where he's claiming these things happen, and then they come back, and all of a sudden now she's crazy.
A dead black guy.
Yeah, dead black guy. This guy's even crazier looking.
And he's got a weird
thing
vagina
that comes
on
out of
head.
his fucking forehead. And now you think that the doctor lady's this psychologist is just all of a sudden crazy now? Let's give her electroshock therapy.
Right, yeah.
And not only did the Brown lead die, when they found him,
his
he
body
was
like eaten away.
From the neck down was a skeleton.
Yeah.
That was eaten away by bugs.
I love that. I love seeing that.
They left all of this alone though because this is money.
That's the money maker.
This is money,
so
right?
now everything down here was good. That was in Brown Lee's contract. So then that's when he jumps in the ambulance, and takes off.
Takes it off to 666 Benevolent.
Yeah, back to old 666 Benevolent Street, where we find our heroine. Not the drug, the woman. And she, I guess, does she turn the machine back on or does it just come back on? No. She takes a bomb. And
That's
puts
right.
It,
That's right.
Yeah, a bomb that she pulls
just
out of
comes
her dick.
bomb.
Yeah.
Like,
So she left the mental facility in her gimp gear.
Right.
And then shows up to this place in like brand new clothes and has a bomb that she's fashioned together real quickly.
Yeah.
Out of
an NES and some fucking
hot dogs.
Hot dogs or whatever.
Is that a bomb? What the fuck?
Yeah. It's a Nintendo NES and a bomb.
Just trying to do some dynamite for no reason whatsoever.
Does it have a countdown on it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, of course it does.
It's like an old school, fucking bomb you'd see on some bad 80s TV show.
Right. And then she starts to leave, but as she's leaving, that's when Bald Guy shows up.
Right. This is whenever our race against,
it turns back on.
Race against the clock starts.
He starts to like chain her up in the sex room to the things, and she's like, "We gotta go," and he's all like, "But I love you,"
Right.
And the machine turns back on.
That's when the machine turns back on, and then you have Dr. Mad Scientist Guy appear again.
Welcome, my dear. Oh, I've been waiting for you.
Right.
No, but before that, chained up psychologist lady bites off his fucking eye.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, his third eye. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate that little thing.
She like reaches up and bites it off.
Yeah, and then
and that brings him back to reality. Or
right, that frees him from the mind control.
It's symbolic of her ripping off his manhood.
Right.
And now she has control of him.
Right. It's all about women's equality.
Right. This movie is 100% about
this movie was
rights.
leap years ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Well, that's when the mad scientist blob guy, he fucking finally just like eats Bald Guy.
Right. Our antagonist, who is the big blob,
right.
The guy on the back and the front here.
And you think
he kills our
He does the worm thing where he eats the head off, and that's what I was referencing earlier. Eats his head off.
You see his like legs and shit like flailing. Yeah.
And then
he's got that weird little nub.
The chick's trying to escape, but as she tries to escape, he's blocking her way. So she turns around to go back up, and there's like all this water coming from somewhere for no reason.
Yeah, just give it. Yeah, it's going up stairs and shit. Yeah.
And then she finally gets back up to the fucking attic where the machine is or whatever.
And then the bomb is at like 5 seconds, so she's like, fuck it.
Yeah, it's been like 30 minutes, and yet that's the longest 5-minute countdown ever.
Right.
Yeah.
So she just fucking hauls off and jumps out the window. And like falls from the fucking, second story.
Maybe
or whatever.
third if you count the
I will give them credit. We assumed that when she landed, she was going to be fine.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And then we see that scene of her knees are just
fucking obliterated.
Gross.
They're like detached from her body at one point. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just a short little fall. No big deal.
Her leg is fucked up.
There's neighbors just walking by, and she's like, ah!
And it's that same lady.
Yeah,
from,
with the poodle or whatever.
The poodle, yeah.
And she's like, oh my god.
That was the callback. Yeah.
And then that's when she starts laughing maniacally, and then it just ends.
And credits roll.
Yeah, she's crazy now, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
So that was From Beyond.
Yeah, that was From Beyond. I mean, this movie had some interesting ideas.
Yeah.
Like, on paper, this shit would work.
It's not well orchestrated.
No, but when it's like...
probably a short story.
But literally, yeah. Whenever you take this and you put it into a movie and you stretch it out to 90 minutes, it does not work.
Or condense it to 90 minutes.
Yeah, or condense it.
There was a lot of stuff that felt like it was cut out.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Like, it just does not fucking work. But... Travis, would you recommend From Beyond?
No. I'm going to say, if you haven't seen Reanimator, go check out Reanimator.
Yes. Josh, would you recommend From Beyond?
I honestly, if you want to have cheap laughs, this would be a good movie. If you're into just shitty D movies, totally.
Not even B.
Yeah, not even B. It's... For what it is, it's hilarious. You get to see the guy from Reanimator.
A lot of people
play a scientist again. But in this time,
a shittier scientist
with a lot less plot, and that says a lot. Get high, get drunk, and watch it. Don't watch it sober.
No.
Good words.
Yeah.
Great words.
As are most of the movies.
All right. Well, I will say this. This movie, if you want to see visuals that are somewhat interesting, that's worth watching this for. But if you want to see it for anything else, plot, story, even the acting is not all fantastic. It's not that great. Just ignore this. And just watch Reanimator, because it's so much better. It's all the same people, better effects.
And a storyline.
And actually tells a story. This does not. From Beyond isn't very good.
Reanimator right there.
Yeah, see? It's over there. I have it on Blu-ray, though.
Oh, that's way cooler.
I know. It's much cooler. But, yeah, this movie sucks. I would not recommend it. Fuck this movie.
Yeah. Go beyond from our beyond. From beyond.
Yep. That's it. This fucking suit, the fucking, like when you fucking surf in the surf suit, what are they called?
A wetsuit.
Wetsuit.
That's what I just said.
Yeah. Oh. That's getting cut out.
Yeah. So. No, that's staying in.